Welcome to my class of operating system. Today we will learn about Introduction to Unix operating system. Unix is an operating system. An operating system is the process that controls all the other parts of a computer system, both the hardware and the software. It allocates the computer resources and schedule tasks. It allows us to make use of the facilities provided by the system. Every computer requires an operating system. Unix operating system is the base of all the operating systems like Ubuntu, Solaris, POSIX, etc. It was originally meant for programmers developing software rather than non-programmers. History of Unix operating system. The first version of Unix, Uniplexed Information and Computing System, was created in the year 1969 by Kenneth Thompson and Dennis Ritchie, system engineer at AT&T Bell Labs, and in summer in 1969 Unix was developed. In 1973, they rewrote the Unix kernel in C to make operating system portable to other computing systems. Unix and C were found by AT&T and distributed to government and academic institution, which led to both being ported to a wider variety of machine family than any other operating system. In 1973, they rewrote the Unix kernel in C to make operating system portable to other computer system. In 1977, it is released the first Berkeley software distribution, which becomes known as BSD. The 1978 release of version 7 included the Bourne shell for the first time. By 1983, commercial interest was growing and Sun Microsystem produced a Unix workstation. System V appeared directly descendant from the original AT&T Unix and the prototype of the more widely used variant today. Unix released 10 editions between 1971 and 1989. Why we use Unix? One of the biggest reasons for using Unix is networking capability. Unix is ideal for such things as worldwide email and connecting to the internet. Because Unix was developed, different people with different needs, it has grown to an operating system that is both flexible and easy to adapt for specific needs. Unix is more secure than Windows operating system. Unix OS consists of several layers. In layer 1, it is hardware. It consists of all hardware related information. In layer 2, kernel interacts with hardware and make most of the tasks like memory management, task scheduling and management are done by kernel. In layer 3, there are shell commands, which is a utility that processes the user's request. And in layer 4, it is the outermost layer that executes the given external applications. Features of Unix. Unix is a multi-user, multitasking operating system. Multiple users may have multiple tasks running simultaneously. Unix is a machine-independent operating system. It is not specific to just one type of computer hardware and is designed from the beginning to be independent of the computer hardware. Unix is a software development and was born in and designed to function within this type of environment. The source code of Unix is written in C. It only has a command line interface. Basic structure of unit: system hardware, the kernel, the shell, and the user. Hardware, which is the core of the system, consists of all hardware related information. Second layer is kernel. It interacts with hardware and most of the tasks like memory management, task scheduling, and management are done by the kernel. Layer 3 consists of the shell commands. Shell is the utility that processes our request. When we type in a command at the terminal, the shell interprets the command and calls the program that we want. And the last layer, it consists of user and it is also called application layer. The system call and library interface represent the border between user program and the kernel. System calls look like ordinary function calls in C program. Assembly language program may invoke system calls directly without a system call library. The kernel. The kernel of the Unix is the hub of the operating system. It is called the hub of the operating system. It allocates time and memory to programs and handles the file store and communication in response to system calls. Kernel controls all essential computer operations and provides the restriction to hardware access, coordinates all executing utilities, and manages resources between processes. Using kernel only, user can access utilities provided by operating system. The shell. The shell is an interface between the user and the kernel. When a user logs in, the login program checks the username and password and then starts another program called the shell. The shell is a command line interpreter. It interprets the command the user types in and arranges for them to be carried out. The commands are themselves program. When they terminate, the shell gives the user another prompt. A Unix shell is a command line interpreter that provides command line interface. For the shell is both an interactive command language and a scripting language and is used by the operating system to control the execution of system using shell script. Users typically interact with Unix shell using a terminal emulator. Bourne shell. This is the original Unix shell written by Steve Bourne of Bell Labs. It is available on all Unix systems. The Bourne shell was the default shell for version 7 Unix. It is developed by Stephen Bourne. It was a replacement for Thomson shell whose executable file had the same name sh. It was also intended as a scripting language and contains most of the features that are commonly considered to produce structured program. The shell does not have interactive facilities provided by modern shell such as C shell and Korn shell. The Bourne shell does provide an easy to use language with which you can write shell scripts. Some of the primary goals of the shells were to allow shell script to be used as filter, to provide programmability including control flow and variable, control over all input-output file descriptors, control over signal handling within scripts, no limit on string lengths when interpreting shell scripts, rationalize and generalize string quoting mechanism. Accessing a Unix file system. There are many ways that we can access a Unix system. The main mode of access to Unix machine is through a terminal, which usually includes a keyboard, a video monitor for each terminal connected to the Unix system. The kernel runs a process called a TTY that accepts input from the terminal and sends output to the terminal. TTY processes are general program and must be told the capabilities of the terminal in order to correctly read, form and write to the terminal. If the TTY process receives incorrect information about the terminal type, unexpected results can occur. Console. Each Unix system has a main console that is connected directly to the machine. The console is a special type of terminal that is recognized when the system is started. Some Unix system operations must be performed at the console. Typically, the console is only accessible by the system operators and administrators. Logging in. Logging into Unix system requires two pieces of information, a username and a password. When we sit down for a Unix session, we are given a login prompt that looks like this. Type your username at the login prompt and press the return key. The system will then ask you for your password. When you type your password, the screen will not display what you type. Logging out. When we are ready to quit, type the command exit. Before we leave our terminal, make sure that we see the login prompt, including that we have successfully logged out. If we have left any unresolved process, the Unix system will require us to resolve them before it will let us log out. Some shells will recognize other commands to log you out, like logout or even by. Advantages of Unix: full multitasking with protected memory. Multiple users can run multiple programs, each at the same time, without interfering with each other or crashing the system. Very efficient virtual memory, so many programs can run with a modest amount of physical memory. Access controls and security. All users must be authenticated by a valid account and password to use the system at all. All files are owned by particular account. The owner can decide whether others have read or write access to his file. Available on a wide variety of machines, the most truly portable operating system. Ability to string commands and utilizes together in unlimited ways to accomplish more complicated tasks. Disadvantages of Unix: the traditional command line shell surface is user hostile, designed for the programmer, not the kernel, not the usual user. Commands often have cryptic names and give very little response to tell the user what they are doing. Much use of special keyboard characters. Less typos have unexpected result. To use Unix shell, we need to understand some of the main design feature. Its powers come from knowing how to make commands and programs interact with each other, not just from treating each as a fixed black box. Unix operating system is not portable. It only has command line interface. The source code of Unix is not freely available to general public. The file system, the different versions of Unix exist. However, not any of the version of Unix operating system is portable. How Unix differs from DOS. Unix can have a GUI, DOS cannot have a GUI. Unix is more secure, DOS is not more secure. Unix is multitasking, DOS is not multitasking. Unix is case sensitive, DOS is not case sensitive. Unix uses forward slashes, DOS is backward slashes. Unix is mainly used in server, DOS is used in embedded systems. Thank you for watching.